Welcome to time-tested advice, where ancient philosophy meets the modern world. Some of the most silent women carry the strongest truths. While most people are busy trying to be seen, heard, or liked, the Sigma female takes a different path. She's not trying to fit into a crowd or even stand out from it. She's just being herself. No labels, no need to prove anything, just calm presence. She doesn't chase attention, yet people notice when she walks in. Her energy changes the whole room without a word. This isn't about showing off or being perfect. It's about knowing who you are, deeply. And let's be real, that kind of self-knowledge can hurt before it heals. Being a Sigma woman isn't something you try to be. It's something already inside you, waiting to be uncovered. You don't need anyone's approval, but you do need the bravery to stand alone, think differently, and guard your peace like a treasure. This isn't a feel-good speech full of fluff. This is for the women who were once told they're too quiet, too intense, too distant, and they turned those things into their strength. Maybe no one ever told you that there was a name for this kind of woman. Now you know. If you've ever felt like you didn't fit in, maybe it's because you were never meant to. Maybe you're here to build something new. This video is your reflection. It's not here to shape you into someone else. It's here to remind you who you've always been. Watch till the end. You might realize that you've been living this way for a long time, strongly, quietly, and with no apologies. If you enjoy, then let us know by leaving a like on this video, and while you're at it, subscribing to the channel would also mean a great deal. Let's begin. Let's make this clear. Sigma women don't fall for what someone could be anymore. They've grown past the stage of trying to fix people, waiting on someone to change, or pouring their love into people who won't lift themselves up. Maybe they had to learn the hard way, but now they know, just because you see someone's potential doesn't mean you should build a life with them. Sigma women still see talent and light in others faster than most. They can spot someone with promise from a mile away, but they also know this. Potential doesn't matter if the person won't work for it. You can show someone the way, but you can't walk it for them. If someone isn't ready to grow, no amount of help, love, or patience will fix that. And a Sigma woman isn't wasting her time anymore. She's not cruel, she's just clear. She'll cheer for you from the sidelines. She'll give advice. She'll walk with you, if you're walking too. But if you're stuck, making excuses, or expecting her to carry you, she's not staying. Sigma women have learned this truth. Their time and energy are valuable, not something to be handed out just because someone asks. They choose to invest in people who invest in themselves. They build strong connections with people who are ready to move forward, not those lost in daydreams and someday plans. It may sound harsh, but it's necessary. That's how they protect their own future. That's how they make sure their strength isn't wasted on people afraid to use their own. They're not here to carry everyone. They're here to walk beside those who can stand on their own. If you've ever ended up tired and drained after trying to help someone who refused to change, take this as your sign. Save your heart, your help, your energy, for those already fighting for themselves. Let's be honest. Sigma women aren't out here trying to be the star of the show. You don't care for attention. You don't need the spotlight. You just show up, calm, real, and whole. And that's enough to change the air in a room. And here's the truth that people rarely say: not everyone will like your energy. And that's okay. You're not meant for every space. You won't make everyone feel safe or relaxed. You unsettle the ones who depend on outside praise, who need a crowd to feel important. Your stillness makes them uneasy. Your quiet presence holds up a mirror that shows their inner noise. But on the flip side, your energy speaks to the real ones, the honest ones, the ones tired of pretending. They see you and feel a spark. They're reminded that it's possible to be strong without shouting, to be confident without needing approval. You're not here to win popularity contests. You're not a show. You're the shift. And those who understand that, they get it. And those who don't? Well, they weren't meant to walk your path anyway. That quiet strength you carry, it's your trademark. It's what makes people sit up straighter, think deeper, and act better when you're around. You don't need to lower your power to make people comfortable. Let them rise to meet you, or let them walk away. You just keep being exactly who you are. And if this message feels personal, it's because you're already living this truth. People always have something to say about how you should be. Smile more, be louder, be softer, settle down. Don't be so serious. Want different things. Wear something else. Pretend more. The pressure is real and constant. You hear it all. You feel the weight of it. But you don't bend. You don't shrink yourself just to make others more at ease. You stay solid. You remain true to you. That's the magic of a Sigma woman. You're not loud about your choices. You're not out there shouting, "I don't care what people think." You just live it. You feel the pressure. You see the expectations. But you don't let them rewrite who you are. And that's what sets you apart. While others twist and turn to fit in, you stay grounded. You take it all in, the advice, the opinions, the judgment, and you give nothing back. No need to explain, no need to argue, no need to change. You don't push back because you're bitter. You simply refuse to hand over your identity for the sake of peace. You won't let society tell you who to be, even if it makes life harder. You take in all those demands, but nothing leaves you changed. You stay pure, whole, and untouched by what the world thinks you should be. If reading this feels like looking into a mirror, know this. You're not strange. You're not wrong. You're just different. And that difference is your power. At first, it hurt. People saw you and thought they had you figured out. Too quiet, too kind, too soft. They assumed you were weak, easy to ignore, easy to control. But what they missed is that you were paying attention. You were learning. You were observing in silence, not because you were scared, but because you were planning. While others were talking, showing off, or looking down on you, you were watching, noticing who was real and who was fake, learning how people work, and slowly preparing your next steps. You didn't need to shout to be strong. You didn't need to demand respect. You just let people reveal who they really are, and then moved smarter and stronger. You discovered early that silence can be your sharpest tool. When they think you're not a threat, they don't protect themselves. That's when you strike, not with anger, but with clarity and confidence. You don't talk big. You act with precision. Your wins don't need applause. They speak for themselves. You've learned something priceless. Quiet strength is unstoppable. So when someone assumes you're weak, just smile. They've just made your path even easier. Because if you're the kind of woman who's been rising silently while others doubted you, you're about to realize how powerful that silence truly is. You've seen the kind of people who make a show of being strong, always posting quotes about self-love, acting like they don't need anyone, but it's mostly for attention. The moment they feel ignored, they break. You're not like that. You don't perform strength. You don't post every success or every struggle. You simply live your life strong and steady. For you, being responsible, handling your business, and standing on your own 2 feet, that's normal. You don't need a crowd clapping to feel good. Real strength isn't loud. It's in how you hold yourself together when life gets hard. It's in the quiet decisions you make when no one's watching. It's in how you carry on when you're tired or hurt or facing hard truths. You don't pretend to be strong. You are. In the dark moments, the quiet nights, the tough talks, you show up for yourself. Not for praise, but because that's just who you are. And because you know what true strength feels like, you have no patience for people who only wear it like a costume. You walk differently because your power is real. And that realness, that's what sets you apart. That's why you win. If this sounds like you, you're not just following the Sigma path. You are it. You've reached a point in your life where peace isn't optional. It's essential. You've been through too much, worked too hard, and grown too deeply to let stress or drama take up space in your life. So now, you see people differently. You don't care how funny, sweet, or charming they seem. You ask yourself one thing: do they bring peace or take it away? If someone constantly drains your energy, makes you doubt yourself, overthink, or feel tense after every interaction, they can't stay. It doesn't matter how close you were, what history you share, or how much they claim to love you. Because love without respect just adds noise. Your energy is valuable now. You've stopped giving it to people who don't appreciate it. You don't explain your boundaries anymore. They should be obvious to the right people. And those who truly value you won't guilt you for protecting your peace. This isn't being cold, it's being clear. This isn't being proud, it's knowing your worth. You've earned your calm, and you won't let anyone take it. So if you've been feeling stretched too thin, take this as your sign. Come back to yourself. Protect your peace. And never let anyone make you feel bad for choosing yourself again. That's not something many people can do. Most folks are afraid of being alone. They see it as something sad or empty, so they fill it with noise, distractions, or people who don't even bring real value. But you've made being alone your strength. You're not sitting around wishing someone would fill the silence. You've made that quiet your own. You use your alone time to think, to create, to reflect. You know yourself deeply, your patterns, your goals, your flaws, your power. You've built an inner world that's rich and alive. Being alone doesn't feel empty. It feels full. You journal, you read, you dream, you rest, you grow. That's why others can't shake you like they used to. You're not searching for someone to complete you. You're already whole. You actually enjoy your own company. You don't fear being with yourself. That kind of self-respect. It's powerful. People can sense it. They feel calm around you, even if they don't know why. You don't need the world to entertain you. You are your own peace, your own fire, your own center. So if you've ever wondered why your energy feels different, it's because you're walking a path of deep strength most people haven't even discovered yet. What you have isn't loneliness, it's leadership. You're not into the whole girl boss trend because to you it feels more like asking for praise than actually being powerful. The flashy quotes, the constant hustling, the "look how strong I am" posts, none of that moves you. Why? Because deep down you see what's really going on. A lot of it isn't strength. It's people looking for claps, likes, and approval. But you're not chasing praise or trophies. You want power for a different reason: to be free. You don't need to be the boss just to say it out loud. You're not here for titles, applause, or a picture-perfect online life. You define winning in your own way. Freedom, peace of mind, doing things your way. While others are running after attention, you're quietly building a life you truly love. You're not pretending to be strong, you actually are. No hashtags, no photo filters, just steady progress. Real confidence doesn't need to shout. It simply shows up and stays grounded. You've learned to protect your peace. You know when to walk away, and you don't need to explain why. You're not interested in showing off. You're too focused on living your truth. That's what makes you so powerful, because you no longer rely on others to tell you that you're enough. Once you stopped needing outside approval, everything changed. You started moving for you. And the best part? You don't need anyone's permission to do it. If you're tired of being told what power should look like, maybe it's time to create your own version and live it boldly. You've been called intimidating more often than pretty, and honestly, you're okay with that. Pretty is common. It's everywhere. But intimidating? That means there's something real about you, something that makes people stop and take notice. They don't say it because you're mean or rude. They say it because you carry yourself with confidence. You speak clearly. You don't shrink to make people feel better. You don't pretend to be soft or clueless just to be liked. You're not here to make everyone feel cozy. You're here to be real. You love deep conversations. You want real meaning, not surface-level chatter. You'd rather leave a lasting impact than just be remembered for your looks. Because looks fade. But truth, confidence, and purpose, that lasts. That changes things. People often misunderstand you. They think your calm means you're cold. They think your honesty is arrogance. Your confidence, it makes them nervous. But that's their issue, not yours. That's their fear running into your fire and realizing they can't control it. You've been misjudged, misunderstood, underestimated, and still you rise, not to be seen but to make a difference. You're not here to please everyone. You weren't made to be simple or easy. You were made to be unforgettable. So let them call you intimidating. Let them misunderstand your power. Because if they're scared of your fire, they don't belong near it. If you've been softening yourself just to fit in, this is your sign. Stop. Keep being smart. Keep being bold. Keep being fully you. You've sat in rooms full of big talkers and loud personalities. You've seen the games, the bragging, the endless fight to be the top. But you don't play like that. You don't have to shout, flex, or try to outshine anyone. You know your worth, and it doesn't depend on anyone's approval. You don't have to be in charge, but you'll never let yourself be walked on. While others compete and argue for attention, you stay calm and steady. You're not there to win a show. You're there to hold your ground. And that's exactly what you do, with grace and strength. You've learned that true power isn't about taking control of others. It's about owning your space and knowing you belong in it. You don't have to bark to be heard. Your silence is powerful. Your stillness speaks. You know who you are. And that's your greatest strength. You're not trying to fit in, and you're not trying to take over. You simply show up as yourself, real, steady, unshaken. And the right people? They notice. You don't bend to make others happy. You don't play small just to keep the peace. You carve out your own lane, and you invite people to meet you there. If they do, great. If not, you're still standing tall. You don't have to win every argument or dominate every space. You already know how things work. And in a world full of noise, your quiet strength speaks volumes. Because sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one who says the least, but means every word. People often try to tell you what's normal or reasonable. They want you to accept less, settle for less, and shrink yourself to fit into their comfort zones. But you've stopped listening to those voices. You no longer change yourself just to make others feel better. If your standards make others uncomfortable, that's their problem, not yours. You've been called picky, difficult, even unrealistic. But you don't let those labels bother you anymore. You know your worth. You know what you bring to the table. And you've realized that trying to be smaller for others is just another way of betraying yourself. You're done pretending to be okay with less than you deserve. You'd rather have a few deep, meaningful relationships than surround yourself with people who expect you to compromise your values. You're not chasing attention or approval. You're choosing real connection, real respect, and real love. You've also come to understand that being alone isn't something to fear. In fact, you've grown to appreciate it. You've found peace in your own company, in having space to recharge and reflect. You've realized that feeling lonely around the wrong people is worse than being by yourself. And now you choose peace over pretense. You've stopped spending time with people who drain your energy or make you question your worth. You'd rather focus on building your life, protecting your joy, and staying true to who you are than pretend to be someone else just to belong. The truth is, you're not scared of being alone. You're scared of losing yourself to please others. That's why keeping your standards high is one of the strongest things you can do. You used to think closure meant talking things through, sitting down, getting answers, tying everything up with a bow. But you've outgrown that. Now you know some people will never give you the truth. Some people will never say sorry. Some stories end in silence, and that's okay. Sigma women don't beg for clarity from the unclear. You don't dig through ashes hoping for fire. You've learned to give yourself closure, to grieve the friendship, the love, the version of you that tolerated confusion. You don't stay in rooms where you're left wondering. You leave with your dignity. You close your own doors, even when the other person leaves them half open. Because peace, to you, is sacred. And waiting around for someone to hand it to you is no longer your story. You don't need explanations that come too late or apologies that never land right. You simply let go. That's not cold. That's emotional maturity. That's what makes you different. You don't chase resolution. You become it. In a world where everyone is shouting over each other, trying to be heard, trying to impress, trying to dominate the room, you stay quiet. Not because you don't have something to say, but because you choose your words. Sigma females don't talk to fill silence. You speak when it matters. You listen when it counts. While others are too busy performing, you're observing. You're catching what they miss. You're watching body language, energy shifts, and what isn't being said. That's your edge. You don't jump to respond. You pause. You process. And when you finally speak, people listen because they know it's real. You've mastered the art of meaningful silence. And because of that, people feel safe telling you things they've never told anyone. You don't judge. You don't interrupt. You understand. You don't speak just to be right. You speak to bring clarity, to cut through the noise, to offer depth where others offer drama. In a world full of noise, your calm is a language of its own. And those who hear it, they never forget it. Being a Sigma female isn't about ticking boxes or wearing a label. It's not about acting tough or fitting into someone's idea of strength. It's about living with intention, moving through life at your own pace, staying true to your values, and not needing the spotlight to know you're doing it right. It's about choosing peace over popularity, depth over drama, and being okay with standing alone rather than pretending to fit in. The Sigma woman doesn't just survive hard times, she grows through them. She doesn't lose her heart, her grace, or her sense of self, even when things get messy. She's not here to make others comfortable. She's here to live a life that feels real and right to her, even if that means walking alone. That's what real strength looks like. Not loud, not flashy, just steady, strong, and unshakably honest. And if you saw even a bit of yourself in this message, know that you're on the right track. If you didn't, that's okay too. Self-awareness is where all growth begins. So don't hold back. Don't dim your light. Don't say sorry for being too much for the wrong crowd. The world needs more women who are grounded, brave, and willing to stand on their own if that's what truth requires. The real question isn't, how many traits do you have? It's, how far are you willing to go to become the woman you were always meant to be? Thanks for watching. Click on the videos on screen to learn more. I'll see you in the next one. Until next time.